The eastern gate of Terminus groaned open with the weight of old hinges and older warnings. Beyond it, the world lay wrapped in morning mist, lush, deceptive, and crawling with death. Ryder stood just inside the threshold, motionless, scanning the tree line. His blades were sheathed but visible, the silent glint of silver speaking louder than words. Behind him, the engineer fidgeted with his pack straps. The man was younger than Ryder, maybe late 20s, with a narrow frame and nervous energy. He wore scavenger's leathers that looked barely broken in. A rolled-up schematic tube was strapped to his back beside a long silver-tipped pole used more for probing than fighting. "You sure this is the right way?" he asked, trying to sound casual and failing. Ryder didn't answer immediately. He took a few steps forward, eyes locked on the horizon. "There's only one way that doesn't get us killed before sundown," Ryder said. "Try to keep up." The engineer swallowed and followed, boots crunching awkwardly over gravel and root. He looked back once at the gate as it began to shut behind them. "What's your name again?" he asked, half jogging to catch up. "I didn't give it." A pause. "I'm Callen," the engineer offered awkwardly. Ryder gave a grunt that might have been acknowledgement. Might not. They moved through the overgrown ruins of what once had been suburbs, collapsed homes, vine-wrapped playgrounds, cars overtaken by roots. Birds called out, insects buzzed, the green silence pressed in. Callen glanced around, gripping the silver pole a little tighter. "So, you've done this kind of thing before?" Ryder stepped over a fallen fence. "You ask a lot of questions for someone who's supposed to walk quiet." Callen flushed and dropped his voice. "Sorry, I've never been outside the field." Ryder slowed slightly, just enough to let Callen catch up. "Stay close, don't run. If something comes, don't scream." That silenced Callen for a while. They pressed on, the sun beginning to burn through the mist. From time to time, Ryder paused to listen. Once, he crouched and touched a line of disturbed moss. Footprints. Old, wrong shape. Callen didn't ask what they were. He didn't want to know. They weren't even half a day out of Terminus, and already the quiet had changed. They moved in silence for another hour, the forest thickening with every step. Sunlight barely broke through the canopy now, reduced to slivers across moss-covered stone and half-sunken roadways. The air smelled of damp earth and something older, wilder. Callen's breathing had grown shallow and quick, but he said nothing, afraid even his voice would stir something from the undergrowth. Ryder ahead moved like he was part of the terrain, calm, aware, unhurried. Then Ryder stopped, hand raised, silent. Callen froze mid-step. His eyes followed Ryder's gaze to a twisted tree just off the path. From a low branch hung strips of flesh, tan, leathery, dried by sun and wind. Beneath it, a smear of black ichor stained the grass. "A feeding spot," Callen whispered, barely audible. Ryder crouched and studied the scene. Number marking territory, pack of day demons. Callen turned pale. "Wait, pack?" Ryder stood. "Yeah, don't move." The silence grew loud, then a rustle behind them. Ryder spun just as a gaunt, long-limbed figure burst from the bushes, its pale, angular body loping on all fours, eyes black pits that locked onto Callen. Callen screamed and stumbled backward. "Run!" Ryder barked. But Callen ran the wrong way, straight into the woods. "Damn it!" Ryder chased, boots slamming into the dirt. He tore through branches and thorn, hearing the demon's shriek echo behind. Callen's panic was loud, too loud. He was crashing through brush like a beacon. Ryder leapt over a log and caught up just in time to see the demon lunging. Silver flashed. Ryder tackled Callen sideways and rolled. The demon skidded past, hissing. Ryder rose in one smooth motion, drawing his fang-like blade. The demon snarled, its body twitching unnaturally as it circled. It feinted once, then lunged. Ryder ducked low, sidestepped, and drove the blade upward, straight into its chest. A squelch, a crack, a gurgling screech. The body spasmed, then slumped into the moss. Silence. Ryder turned to Callen, who was still on the ground, wide-eyed and gasping. "You ran," Ryder said. I thought—" "You don't think. You listen. You stay close, or you die." Callen's mouth opened, but Ryder was already walking. Callen scrambled up, heart hammering, and followed in silence. They didn't speak for the next 2 hours. When the sun began to dip, Ryder veered off the overgrown road and pushed through a narrow gap between fallen trees. Behind the dense brush was a structure, almost invisible until they were right on top of it. A crumbled stone drainage tunnel sunk into the side of a hill, nearly swallowed by vines. He pulled aside a curtain of moss and ducked in. Callen followed. Inside was cool and dry, old-world concrete wrapped in green roots and silence. A few scavenged supplies were tucked into a dry corner, blankets, flint, a small container of clean water. Someone had been here before, Ryder. He knelt and started a fire with practiced efficiency, the spark catching instantly. Orange light flickered off the walls. The flicker danced across Ryder's face, painting shadows across old scars. Callen sat stiffly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Have you lost people out here?" Ryder didn't answer at first. He stared into the flames like they held answers no one else could see. "Yes." The word fell like stone. Callen nodded, then unrolled his mat. "I won't run again." "You'd better not," Ryder muttered. "Next time, I won't save you." Callen looked up, uncertain if it was a warning or a promise. Outside, the forest darkened. Far off, a howl echoed through the green. Not a dog. Not anything that once was. Ryder added a small log to the fire, then leaned back, eyes never closing, never resting. The night had come, and it belonged to monsters.